Oh, hey y'all. How's it going? Fatty here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. And today I'm going to bring you a full artifact guide for everything that you're going to need for the Broodmother. Now, this is going to be the first part in a 3-part series where I go through each of the bosses and show you all the artifacts, cave locations, how to get them, some tips and tricks along the way. And this is going to complete all the bosses for the island, and I'll do this for each of the maps as they come out. But let's not waste any more of your time and jump straight into it. The first artifact that we're going to be looking at is the Artifact of the Clever. This one's going to be located at 40.3, 45.7. This is located right next to the main metal mountain. A lot of people have probably come across this cave before. This one is going to be, out of the three, what I would say the moderate one of the group. You might be able to do this one on foot. There's definitely one of these you can easily do on foot. This one's a little bit more tricky because there are a decent amount of onyx, and that always makes it a little bit more tricky. If everything's on the ground, it makes it a little easier just to kind of kite them back, as you kind of see I do in this video. I'm going to speed through some of this, cut out a little bit so you see the general path. This one is very straightforward. Whatever way you go, there is 2 paths right there. You can go left or right. They both converge to this next area that we're going to get to. So through this one, all you're really going to need is a shotgun and some grapples and parachutes, and you can use bolas. Some things can be bolaed, so it never hurts to have it. But really on this one, I would probably recommend, if you have a decent flak and a shotgun better than prim. As you can see, even some of these with prim shotguns take a couple shots. So if you had something in the, I'd say like 160 or a higher range, you're going to be fine just to be pretty much able to one-tap all these things. But this one's pretty straightforward. You just follow the path. When you get to the water, the best thing that you can do is just grapple over it. The water is actually incredibly deadly in this one. There's just a lot of terrible, horrible, nasty things down there. So I would just grapple over to the water, and then you can see easily where the artifact is. Like I said, if you do not have good flak, I would really recommend probably going on a Sabertooth on this one. Either a Sabertooth or Direwolves. If you're solo, I'd recommend Sabertooth because you have the bonus of the saddle. That gives you a little bit more defense because you are going to be getting attacked pretty heavily on this one, so you don't want your tame to get knocked out or killed. Otherwise, Direwolves are actually pretty decent as well, especially if you're going in with multiple people because you get the pack bonus, which definitely helps out quite a bit. So those are going to be different ways that you can kind of tackle this cave. This one is, like I said, the moderate one. We'll go on to the Artifact of the Hunter next, which is just a little bit easier in my opinion, and then we'll continue on to the Massive. The next artifact on the list is going to be the Artifact of the Hunter. This one's going to be located at 85, 54.3. Now this one is probably going to be the easiest one out of all of them to get. You really don't need anything more than just a shotgun, some grapples, and some good flak. This one's a pretty straightforward tunnel. It does branch out a little bit, but what I've noticed is if you just hug to the right side, until you get to where the lake is kind of in the middle. If you just grapple over that and then just still, once you get over there, hug the right side of that path, it'll lead you straight to the artifact. So it's a pretty straightforward shot. In this cave, you're not going to find any onyx flying around or anything like that. So it's going to be really easy to just grapple to the ceiling in any spots where you're going to see a lot of PvE and just shoot them down to be able to get there. Now on this one as well, there are actually not quite a bit. I think there's 2 or 3 red drops that can spawn in here. Those underwater or cave loot drops are really nice. So this is a good one just to kind of explore if you need some BPs as well, not just to get the artifact. But other than that, it's like I said, straightforward to get out. Just again, instead of hugging the right wall, hug the left one and you'll get out really easy peasy. And we're going to move on to the final one on this list, the Artifact of the Massive. It is definitely going to be the hardest one, but let's just jump over to that one. The last artifact on this list is going to be the Artifact of the Massive. The cave entrance is going to be located at 74.4, 92.3. This is probably the easiest one to find. A lot of us have run around this one just on the beach. So this is going to be across from where Bronto Island is, if you guys aren't familiar with that, in this little cove, and it's just going to be kind of tucked away in the side. Now this one is by far the trickiest one. In this video, I just go through with flak and a shotgun, but I don't know if this one's very possible, honestly, without some kind of tame, unless you're on a fairly boosted server. There are so many different dinos in this one. There are just an insane amount of onyx alone, and you'll just get swarmed. So you really have to be cautious. If you have a tame, what I would really do, like I said, I would go in with a Sabertooth or a Direwolf, like I kind of said in the other ones, and I would just kind of kite them back. I would shoot them as much as you can with a shotgun before they get to your tame, and then hop on, and then just kind of bite at them until they're down. But really, make sure you're shooting them from as far away as you can. Draw as little of the PvE in the cave as you can at once. Otherwise, this is going to be a really overwhelming one. Now, as you were kind of seeing down here, you'll go just down the path, and then it's going to fork over here to the left, and there's this little bridge, and then you have this kind of jump puzzle thing. So if you just jump across the jump puzzle part of the cave, then you're just going to kind of come over here to the left, and then you'll come to this back chamber. The way you can tell if you're in the right area is the lava just looks a lot different back here. Instead of a really bright glowing orange, it's more of this like muted kind of like cooling off lava effect, and that's when you know you're in generally the right area. It's going to be back in this last chamber. Now really, again, be super cautious back in this area because Onyx really have a lot of push. You would be kind of surprised, and they're the most difficult thing in caves to kill. So you just want to be careful that you're not going to get pushed off into the lava, because island lava is not friendly lava. It's not like Ragnarok and some of those other ones where you'll just kind of get hurt over time. It's a KO, so you don't want to touch the lava at all, and you're going to really not have a good time if you get pushed into that lava. But if you kind of do the jump puzzle part, you'll make it all the way back here to where the artifact is, and it's fairly straightforward, but honestly getting out is just as hard as getting in. So if you're going to be doing this, I would always recommend to have at least 200 shotgun shells. I would say at least 30 grapples and some parachutes. If you have parachutes, you might be able to use less than 30 grapples if you're really good at pushing yourself around. But like I said, you are definitely going to need a saber tooth, and there's still going to be some parts where you're going to have to kite, especially when you're doing that jump puzzle part. You might be able to jump with the saber tooth through that if you feel really confident. They have the length to do it, but it's just a lot harder than just kind of doing an obby type style with your character. So you might have to kind of kite back to that area with some of the tames, but it's really not that difficult overall. Just make sure you're kind of going in prepared and smart about it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be putting out the other two parts of this video. Next, I will be doing the Megapithecus, and then finally the dragon, where to get all those artifacts and stuff as well. If you guys need help with anything else along the lines of tributes or some of those spawns, let me know in the comments below. I do read all the comments, and a lot of the ones I get in the comments are what I make tutorials for. So if you're the one that's looking for something in particular, no matter how big or small it is, leave that comment down below and I'll see what I can do. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you in the very next video. Peace.